is Wednesday, May 12. Welcome to CGN News. Belizean Dr. Carla Barnett has been selected as the new Secretary-General of the Caribbean Community Caricom, the first woman to hold the post. The unanimous decision was made at a virtual special session of Caricom heads of government today. Barnett will replace Ambassador Erwin LaRocque, who is completing his second term. She assumes office August 15. Heads of government, in congratulating Barnett, recognized the historic moment for the community. Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley, the only woman head of government in Caricom, described Barnett as perfect for the job. A former Deputy Secretary-General of Caricom, Barnett was formerly Vice President of the Belize Senate. Executive Director of the Antigua and Barbuda Chamber of Commerce, Martin Cave, says the human rights of nationals should be respected as the country moves towards vaccinating people against the COVID-19 virus. Prime Minister Gaston Brown said a mandatory vaccination program was possible as he criticized persons encouraging others not to participate in the national vaccination program. Cave said while businesses support the efforts by the government to get people vaccinated, the goal of attaining herd immunity must be reached without infringing upon the rights of the population. Health officials in the Cayman Islands are urging residents to get vaccinated as the COVID-19 vaccines are set to expire soon. According to the Public Health Department, while the vaccines expire June 30, anyone intending to be vaccinated will need to receive their first dose before June 9. The department said that the jabs needed to be administered at least 21 days before their expiration date. Some 70,068 COVID-19 vaccines have been administered in the Cayman Islands, and at least 50% of the population have received both doses of the vaccine. Chief Medical Officer Dr. John Lee, in his latest report, revealed that 407 COVID-19 tests were carried out with no new infections recorded. Jamaica's tourism minister says that if the Caribbean's economic recovery from the pandemic is to begin this year, more vaccinations need to be made available very soon. Edmund Bartlett told the Tourism Linkages Forum in Kingston that as the global economy navigates its second year of recession linked to the pandemic, the focus is on recovery in the safest and shortest time possible. He said that the reality is that only 7.3% of the world's population of over 7 billion people have already received at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine to date. Almost half of the doses administered so far have gone to high-income countries. Bartlett said that based on the current trend of vaccine inequity, the world's poorest 92 countries will not be able to reach a vaccination rate of 60% of their populations until 2023 or later. Puerto Rican former Olympic boxer Felix Verdejo pleaded not guilty Tuesday to the killing of his pregnant lover and their unborn child in a case that has fanned outrage over violence against women in the United States territory. Verdejo entered his plea to the charges that include the murder and kidnapping of Keishla Rodriguez, who was pregnant. Her death sparked protests in Puerto Rico, which has a deep-rooted problem of violence against women. A complaint obtained by AFP claimed Verdejo, who is married, kidnapped the victim in April after she told him she was pregnant. Verdejo asked another person for help in terminating Rodriguez's pregnancy. U.S. motorists have been urged not to hoard fuel as a major fuel pipeline remained shut after a cyber attack. North Carolina, Virginia, and Florida have declared a state of emergency as petrol stations began running dry and prices rose. The average price for petrol stood at $2.98 per gallon on Tuesday, its highest since November 2014, the American Automobile Association said. Some motorists in the southeast were seen stocking up on fuel, but U.S. Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm said there was no need for motorists to hoard petrol. Granholm said there was not a shortage but supply crunch in North and South Carolina, Tennessee, and Georgia. The World Health Organization, WHO, says it is reviewing coronavirus data from Seychelles after the health ministry said more than a third of people who tested positive for COVID-19 in the past week had been fully vaccinated. The WHO stressed Tuesday that the majority of those who tested positive had not been vaccinated or had only received one dose, and that no one who had died had been fully vaccinated. The 7-day rolling average of positive cases increased from 120 on April 30 to 314 on May 8, the ministry said Monday. Some 37% of those testing positive had received both doses of a vaccine. To date, 57% of those who have been fully vaccinated received the vaccine from China's drug maker Sinopharm, while the others received AstraZeneca shots. Nearly 60% of the population have had 2 doses, the WHO said. Scores of dead bodies have been found floating down the Ganges River in India as the country battles a surge in coronavirus infections. Health officials working through the night on Monday retrieved 71 bodies, officials said. Images on social media of the bodies floating in the river prompted outrage and speculation that they died from COVID-19. The authorities performed post-mortems on Tuesday but said they could not confirm the cause of death due to the decomposition of the bodies. More corpses were found floating in the river on Tuesday. The police and villagers were at the site about 30 miles from Monday's incident. Liverpool footballer Mohamed Salah has called on world leaders to do everything in their power to end the killing of innocent people in what seemed to be a reference to rising tension in Palestine, where at least 28 people were killed by Israeli attacks. Salah's appeal came as the Israeli military continued its bombardment of the besieged Gaza Strip on Tuesday. In a tweet on Tuesday, Salah called on Britain's Prime Minister Boris Johnson to make sure the violence stops immediately. The Egyptian football star has 14.3 million followers on Twitter, and his tweet was shared thousands of times within minutes. He had earlier posted a picture of himself at the Dome of the Rock in occupied East Jerusalem. And finally, Indian doctors have urged people not to cover themselves in cow dung and urine as a treatment for COVID, saying it risks spreading the disease faster. Medics spoke out after it emerged that Hindus in western Gujarat state have been visiting cow shelters once a week to douse themselves in excrement, which is then washed off with milk. In Hinduism, the cow is a sacred symbol of life and the earth, and for centuries Hindus have used cow dung to clean their homes and for prayer rituals, believing it has therapeutic and antiseptic properties. But President of the Indian Medical Association warned the cure doesn't work. Some Indians have turned to unproven cures for COVID as the virus runs rampant in the country and oxygen has run in desperately short supply. That's it for CGN News. I'm Scott Wilson. Thanks for watching.